Hey, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the club at Livermore. If we could all please stand for the pledge. Oh, and there's the flag on the wall. And Linda Tenney, will you please lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. And our songsters. Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes.
You're gonna introduce the song? No, you are. I am.
Oh, Linda, thank
What
you
are we
for
playing?
coming.
Hi. If you did,
Hello.
okay. I don't know why. I guess we're going to talk about redevelopment or development and building and so Don Wentz decided that you decided that it would be a good idea to suggest if I had a hammer, right? So since that was an easy song to do until today, because Tim changed the key on us. So, all right. So I'll let him go. Tim? Oh, no, come over here.
Yeah, you got to get center.
I have to watch your hands so I know how to play.
Goodness sake.
Yeah.
This is all
right.
fancy.
1, 2, 3, 4. If I had a hammer, I have a I have if I have the bell, I ring it in the morning. All of it's light. I ring out danger. I ring out warning. I ring out love. My brothers and my sisters, all of it's light. I have a song. I sing it in the morning. All over this land, I sing out danger. I sing out warning. I sing out love between the brothers and the sisters. All over this land. I have a bell, and I have a song sing all over this land. It's a hammer of justice. It's a freedom. I'm gonna love between the brothers and the sisters. All to this land. It's a hammer of justice. It's a freedom. It's like love between the brothers and the sisters. All to this land.
I think that's a oh wow. Who's our do we have a traveling mic volunteer? We already have one. Okay. I'll leave this here in case someone. Oh, there you go, my Mark. You're gonna take care of things. Thank you so much. Okay, our thought for the day. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Hey, who's out there in Zoom land? How about let's see. Hey, is Chris Ising out there? Hey, Chris, are you out there?
I'm here.
Hey, you know what? I wanted to just say welcome back, Chris. I know you had some serious surgeries and so glad to have you back joining us via Zoom. Hope to see you here soon.
Yeah, well, finally got my driver's license back yesterday. Well, at least the temporary one. And so, yeah, I should be able to get there sometime the next week or two.
Perfect. I can always come get you. So glad you're here.
All right.
Oh, there's a question in the audience. How did your pistachio harvest go?
We're starting on Friday.
Oh, nuts, huh? Is that what?
We start on Friday and should be done by either Monday or Tuesday.
Uh-oh, Splin was saying that you. Uh-oh. We got some inside scoop, Chris.
What's that?
You were under doctor's orders not to help, and I understand that you were out there helping. That would be fine worthy, but you're going to get a break today. Okay, so we need a
Well,
what?
I don't know. I'm seeing the doctor this afternoon, so we'll see what she says.
Okay, well, we won't tattle on you.
All right.
All right. Hey, Mark, do you want to? There we go. Perfect.
So my thought for the day, given the enormous amount of preparation time it's been, is something that I talked about to my students last night at San Francisco State. And I said that most managers dramatically overestimate the amount of change they can get done in a year, but they dramatically underestimate how much change they can get done in 10 years. So hopefully our vision for the community as we are helping has that 10-year horizon or even beyond that. So that's my thought for the day.
Very nice. And before I go on, I want to thank each and every one of you, and thanks to Kelly for wearing your orange today. I understand that's unity for all of us, so I truly appreciate that. And I think we follow that unity within our club, with what we do and around locally and in the world. So thank you so much for that. And Kelly, thank you for reminding us. I appreciate that very, very much.
Kelly, do you have shirts to sell? Oh, darn.
Ooh.
Well, I've got the shirt, so that took care of that for you.
Is there a donation involved with the shirt?
Are you loaning the shirts and the objects?
Mike, you know, you are my favorite. You do know that, Mr. Morgan, and you're becoming my favorite more and more.
Have a shirt. If you don't have a shirt, then what I did was I printed on the computer. We're going to hold up the words the letters.
Perfect. At
Unity
the
Day.
at
So
the end,
somebody can be the U, another person could be the N. You get it.
so we have to spell. But at the end of the end of the meeting, we're going to take. End of the meeting, we'll take a picture. Thank you. That's okay. That's okay. We wanted to talk about it. Okay. Front line. Spur reporter. Thank you so much. Joel. Don Wins. Spur publisher. Do I have it right? Oh, shoot. I printed out the wrong sheet. Oh, you changed? Okay. All right. Well then, okay. Photographer, Irv Stowers, Don Wentz, visual audio. Perfect. Zoom host chat monitor, Jeff Youngsma. And our greeter extraordinaire is Kimberly Grudel. Our sergeant at arms back here, we've got Bob and Trex. Thank you so much. We have, I think we have over $1,100 in the kitty. Meow. Thank you. So don't forget to buy your tickets. 1,300. Woo-hoo! Okay. Also too, our web mistress is Kathy Coyle, and our public outreach person is Kelly Bowers. Be sure if you do something wonderful, please let her know, because she's gets the word out for us to educate the community about our brand. What do we do? Because I don't want to hear somebody say to me again, what is Rotary? So she's going to help us with that. So please be sure to keep Kathy in your thoughts when you're doing great things out there with Rotary to share with her. Oh, she'll tell. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, let's start off with, do we have any visiting Rotarians in Zoom land or guests? Oh, that's right. You're here. That I was going, boy, you're clear. Okay. Do we have any visiting Rotarians in the room? All right. Well, I know we have some guests and we have our speaker.
Who's that?
Okay. You know, I've got a special project coming up. I don't even think I'm going to have to ask the board for money. I think I'm. Oh.
Seems like it's well worth the fine. That's $100 call.
Oh, are we going to say happy birthday? Can we all just say happy
Yep.
birthday?
Here
Ready?
we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean. Happy birthday to you. All right. Yes. Yes.
So what I'm suggesting is that maybe you can offer sort of $100 indulgence so people can pay $100 one time and then they're free to pay again.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, well,
I
we've
think
got
you've
a
got some-
rebuttal.
I think you've got some.
Why don't you learn?
Uh-oh.
Hey, how about you pay me $75 and I'll teach you how to turn it silent?
That right. Oh, okay. It might, and then oh, well, it could be helpful to raise money, but I'm thinking after I tap each one of you for $100, you're never gonna. I'm kind of enjoying the phone thing just a teeny bit. But that is not a bad idea. I will keep that in mind, Paul. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. If I start to see it running, the phone fine getting slim, I'm going to turn to that. Okay, so thank you for your President's Club, and oh, we've got Bob. Yes, and Mike. Hold on.
I would like to suggest that if your phone rings because of a Rotarian in this room, they should also be fined.
You know, we did that. So, so just so you know, the last time when his phone went off, I made Mike pay for him. So, we do that. Thank you so much. That's a good idea. Very good. Okay. All right.
You were introducing Rotary.
Oh yeah, I was doing
Visitors.
something with the Rotary. Okay. So guest of Rotarians, please go right ahead.
All right, we've got a hand up over here.
Who else has our
Almost tripped.
mic back there if they can? Okay.
Let's see, I'd like to introduce David and Trudy Barnes. They are potential members. This is the second meeting they've been to. Stand up. And they brought a guest, John Marion. You might recognize him. Some people. And I just want to venture a guess that maybe he'd want to come back to the club. We'll see.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Woo-hoo.
Whoa. Oh, we have back there. You're going to get, there we go. And then I think after Christina, then it's Ron Koopman.
Well,
Okay, we have a
technically-
guest here, Julie Cochran.
technically Julie's not a guest, isn't
No,
she?
she's
She's our
not.
corporate member, but we did want to sign her up like a guest so that we would all meet Captain Cochran here. And she is one of 4 who will rotate through our police department corporate membership.
All
We are
right.
super excited. And someday we'll figure out their badges. That's going
I
to
don't-
take 4 more meetings of
It
the
could
board?
be in a box of crayons.
Oh my
We got work.
God.
Yeah, we got work. We got
Yeah.
work. And Mr. Ron Koopman had a guest to introduce.
I'd like to introduce my guest, who is my caregiver, Cecilia.
Welcome, Cecilia. Thank you so much. Okay, we have quite a few announcements, so we're going to try and buzz through these. All right, let me do, first of all, we all did, thank you, those of you that had orange. I had to go to Walmart this morning and buy my orange, so it's not in my color wheel.
You know,
Is
that
that what it-
says, that says a number of things about you, Madam President. Just saying.
Yeah, yep. So anyway, I made sure that I was participating. Next, if we could give the mic over to Sonia. Is that an additional fine? I'm just asking.
Sorry, I wasn't paying
That's
attention.
okay. That
Anyway.
doesn't hurt my feelings.
All right. So most of you have your orange on already. So next Wednesday is our monthly Halloween party. It'll be at Garay Vineyards, 5 p.m., 5 to 7. Anybody who comes in some sort of a costume will get a glass of wine courtesy of Rotary. And please come, enjoy. We have a great time, and it's a great way to socialize and get to know the newer members and potential members. And I expect to see you two there.
Yes. And then our red badge get a free glass of
Oh,
wine.
I'm sorry.
They get, go ahead.
Red badge does get free glasses of wine.
Yes.
So you should do this from now on when I'm.
Time?
5 to
Time?
7.
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
I love my club. 5
No.
to 7.
5 to 7. We usually leave at 9:30 or 10.
Yes.
So it works.
It works well. We close the
Right.
joint down and there'll be snacks. So, you know, you can drink and eat. And it is, Sonia does, and her team does a beautiful job. So I want to thank all of you that help. Okay, Pat Coyle.
Hi, good to see everybody again.
Yes.
This is a quick reminder about something that's coming to a head tomorrow evening. Joel has already put out the announcement about this, so check your email for that. There's still time to bid on the virtual silent auction, which is online. I don't expect many of you want to come up to the event itself, but there's a lot of nice offerings there. As I mentioned last time, we've got stuff from Jessica at JMC Cellars. We've got some Talking Bull. We've got Carol Howell's, a couple of really nice reds and some tastings. And then there's other nice things as well. Uncle U's gift certificate. So there's a number of nice things there. Sheila, if I might, I think I'm on the agenda for a little later. Maybe I could just do it right now.
Well, sure.
Kathy and I have got a nice brag to talk about, and that is our son, Scott, is on the faculty of University of Wisconsin in Madison, and he's just received a National Institute of Health grant, a Young Innovators grant for $1.5 million for his lab's innovative work on installing genetically modified alterations to cells that turn them into kind of like a little cellular FM radio that reads out and allows you to probe protein dynamics in cells for assessing what's going on in the cell, and actually for being able to make interventions in the cell to modify behavior. So there's big applications of this potentially across a wide spectrum, including cancer research and so forth. So we'd like to donate $200 to the READY program on
All
behalf
right.
of that.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so our next meeting next week will once again be here. I don't know what the meal is and the cost, but Chinese next time. So what's going to happen is Sonia's going to send you an email just to make sure she gets a real firm head count, because I think we had head count of 35 and we fed 60. So yeah. So just so we have enough food, because that would be so embarrassing. So if you could please, take the time by Friday to let her know, that would be very much appreciated. Yes, that was the student of the month will be next week. Yeah. Is it student of the month? I think it's three students. Ooh,
They're all orphans.
They're all
That's one of the
orphans.
reasons they won. No.
okay, well. Yes.
Good Lord, I didn't realize it was gonna be such a long story.
I guess I'm about finished. So therefore, now that means that there could be a lot of people here.
Right. Yes, Mr. Nebo. Okay, and maybe Mike can get them to expand the room. Okay, so Bill Nebo is going to find out how many will be coming so he can give us a firm number. But I'm hoping, Mike, you can expand the wall. Okay. All right. Well, we'll work on that. Okay. All right. Couple things else I want to okay, well we actually I have a little I understand somebody's got a little something to talk to me about. I think that's Alan Burnham. Can we get him a mic?
Well, our oldest daughter and family from Texas were here for the last few days, and we had a great time with them. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that I had a cracked tail light lens, and I talked to JR about that, and he was able to, fix that for a very reasonable price. So that's another thing. And the third thing is that I don't get to wear this tie very often. And so I have three things to be happy about. So I'm going to donate another $150 to the president's project to fix up the depot.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. And I like that tie. Caught my attention. Okay, a couple quick things before we move on. Just I wanted to announce that as you all probably got the email, the passing of Richard King, and I think an email was sent around to you regarding the services. And did everybody get that? No? Oh, thank you. You know what? We'll put it in the spur. His services will be held Saturday, November 4th, 2 p.m. at the Church of Latter-day Saints in Walnut Creek. Oh, excuse me, on Walnut Creek Avenue in Fremont. But he sent out a little form if anyone in lieu of flowers to send a donation, but we'll put it in the spur. I'm sorry. Richard King, former president, RA president of Rotary. I'm sorry. I probably should have gone into a little more detail. Most people talk about him like they know who he is. So yeah. Oh, yes, yes. And then we've got polio. We're going to talk about that. Oh, and the last thing before we get over to gout, the district is having a fundraiser at Page Mill Winery on October 26th to raise money for the wheelchair project. So October 26th from 4:30 to 8, twilight tasting, $15 per flight. And the money goes to, it's the Rotary Club of Dublin, but it's a district fundraiser for the wheelchair project. Okay, gout.
Thank you. All right. First, next one. Next slide. Okay, today we are going to recognize Mike Thompson and Anita Thompson for their contribution to become major donor level 2. And you become major donor level 2 when you contribute $25,000 or more, up to $50,000. And this couple have been very gracious every year. They are Paul Harris Society members by donating $1,000 or more. And also they're a member of Bequest Society, therefore Triple Crown. So that's very good. And thank you very much. And need help.
Oh, it's orange. I didn't need to get this shirt.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say something. While Gal's getting his stuff together, just a quick report. We had our golf day last Thursday. And Gordon won the closest to the pin. There were three quite close. It was kind of interesting. And Gowd had the most points. But unfortunately, he doesn't get the trophy because the handicap I gave him was a handicap I gave him. He's not a handicap player.
Okay, for that, I'm going to give you a present.
And I'm going to give him a present, an Olympic Club ball marker to remind him to get a handicap.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so make sure.
And thank you for all coming today to try this venue and the food. It
All right.
was a lot more than we expected.
All this.
Okay. All right. I got this.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Brian, next slide.
Can I have a microphone?
Okay. Next Tuesday's Polo Day. And following through on Mark's thing, I thought back 40 years ago when 125 countries in the world had polio endemic, when there were hundreds of thousands of cases each year, there were kids dying. And at that time, Rotary approached the World Health Organization and the Global Polio Eradication Initiative was born. And what have we done since then? Well, polio has been eliminated from everywhere but the Afghan-Pakistan border, where there are those totally anarchistic tribes who are always fighting one another and even fighting the Taliban. And so that's the remaining thing. We have 7 cases reported this year. But why do we need to go on? Each year, there are hundreds of thousands of children born, and each of those children need vaccination. And at the same time as that's going on, we need to monitor for the presence of polio in any suspect areas. And so we have continued vaccination and continual global surveillance. And maybe you could just wait there. There's an excellent article in this week's this month's Rotarian about it. Okay. The GPEI is now a $1 billion a year enterprise. The surveillance teams in every country in the world, their quick response teams, and of course their stockpiling vaccines to move quickly if there is an outbreak of any type. We contribute about $150 million a year to that, and that is matched 2-to-1 by the Gates Foundation. So our contribution ends up at 450, sorry. Next. So The reason I'm talking now is that I want us to affirm that this club really does support Polio Plus. And that by supporting that, we're supporting Rotary's activities, and Rotary can keep performing its leadership role in the global polio eradication project. It's the largest internationally coordinated public health initiative in history. And so obviously what we've got to do, we want to get rid of those few pesky cases up in Afghanistan. But the other big thing is the plus. It's not just polio, it's the other things that they can give at the same time. And with the oral vaccine, they gave doses of vitamin A. Vitamin A deficiency, it caused something like 500,000 cases of childhood blindness worldwide. And that has been almost totally eliminated through it. And nowadays, with the injections, we can deal with measles and DPNT and so on. So, world needs Rotary's inspiration. Rotary needs our club support, and our club needs your support. So please dig deep, feel good.
Thank you, Brian. All right. Okay, so oh, are you not done?
Yeah.
Oh,
One more. Okay, so very quickly. So I think we sent out the instruction for how you can log into the myrotary.org. I hope you've done that. If you didn't, please register and log into myrotary.org. Also distributed a pledge card. Please call me or send me by email what your pledge is. So basically, like to shoot for maximum number of Paul Harris Fellows this year. Hopefully we can get to 100. And what we're doing is we are matching your donation so that you can reach Paul Harris Fellow in $500. And I hope we can get there. And you can also sign up for recurring donations. $50 per month will get you there. Paul Harris Society member, $100 a month will get you there. And hope you can do it. Thank you very much.
thank you, guys, so much. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, so if we could have Mark Roberts come up here and introduce. Wait. Oh, sorry. Next week, Dave Rakeshaw is, oh my goodness, physics with smartphones. Are we going to learn how our smartphone is going to run us? Is that, or it does already? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Here's Mark.
Yeah, we actually brought Dave in. He's going to give us 30 minutes on how to silence our cell phones. Normally, it's much more involved for middle schoolers, but for us, it's just over and over again. He's going to walk through sort of how to silence your cell phone. So, yes, and that's what's really different about that presentation versus being charged $75. Which I've heard is the going rate right now. I am going to introduce our speaker this afternoon. We have from the city today two folks. We have Andy and Paul. Andy is in Innovation and Economic Development. Paul Spence is our Community Development Director. I'll read you just a little bit about Paul Spence. Paul Spence was appointed the Community Development Director in 2016 by a visionary and wonderful city manager, and who was responsible. Oh, that wasn't in there, was it? Okay. Yeah, really, it's the visionary part that he wants to say thanks for. He's responsible for the operation of building, engineering, housing, human services, and planning. And he was previously the city's planning manager. He has been with the city now, is it 20 years? Wow, more than 20 years. And the other thing is that Paul, there's been an announcement that just went out, has been promoted. So he will not be our community development director much longer. He will be our assistant city manager starting early next year. And Paul seems interested, or at least not repelled, about joining our club. So I'm going to work on him a little bit and see if we can get the assistant city manager to join the club here. That, and yeah, I'm kind of figuring that I can do that. And Paul both has a bachelor's and a master's degree, but that's not what he's here to talk about. He's going to tell us about the general plan update. Paul, tell us what's going to happen.
Thank you so much. So I don't have a clicker. I'll just point to you each time. Is that right? If you have a clicker. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all today. I've met many of you over the years. I had no idea that you had so much fun together. So this is a pretty good group. And I'm pleased to join you because I know how interested you are in what's happening in Livermore, right? This is a group that's very interested and involved. Let's see if we can do this right. Here we go. So we're going to be talking about the general plan update today. How many of you know what a general plan is? Oh, very good. All right. So we'll give a little bit of info on that, but we're going to be going through an overview today. We're going to be talking about land use alternatives and how to provide input. So what is the general plan? It is our overarching policy document for the city. It guides land use, it guides policy, it tells us how to conserve resources, how to use resources, how to change the physical form of the city, and all of the other documents, the zoning code and all the rest, they're required to be consistent with our general plan. These are some of the elements that are in a general plan. We have land use, which we're going to be concentrating on today, but there are a variety of other elements that you can see here: circulation, housing, noise, public safety, climate change. So, and communities can pick and choose which things they'd like to add beyond the basis. So we, if we're interested in environmental justice, we can add that to our general plan. So we're going through land use today. We're going to be going through the rest of these over the next year. I feel like I'm getting louder and louder. All right. So again, the general plan is the overarching guide for all of the rest of our policy documents, development codes, specific plans, etc. We've been working over the last year on our general plan update. Am I the volume okay? Shall I hold on to the mic? How's this? Yeah, that's good. Okay, better. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Thank you. So we've been working over the last year or so on our general plan update. We've been doing visioning exercises with the community. Okay. We've been doing visioning exercises with the community, research and analysis. We've completed our housing element update. So as you may know, the state requires jurisdictions throughout California to plan for a certain amount of housing. The Bay Area Association of Governments allocates a housing number to each city. Livermore was allocated 4,570 housing units for this next 8-year cycle. So we went through a planning exercise this last year and solicited community feedback on where to put those units. The city doesn't build housing, but we have to plan for it. We have to designate land for it, and we have to designate land at a variety of densities, which from the state's perspective, equate to a variety of income levels. So we've gone through and adopted our housing element. We have to do one every 8 years. The general plan is a 20-year outlook. So we've planned for 4,500 units for this next 8 years, but we're going to have to do planning for another 2 cycles as we think about this 20-year outlook. So that's another 5,000 to 6,000 units 8 years from now, and probably another 6,000 or 7,000 units the 8 years after that. The numbers seem to keep going up and up. So today we're going to talk about land use alternatives. Over the next year, we'll be working on policy development in some of the other areas that we talked about, circulation and public safety and those things. We're looking to adopt our general plan in early 2025, to give you a sense. These are some of the guiding principles as we've talked with the community over the last year that they are interested in. We heard about prosperity, vibrancy, sustainability, continuity. You can see these here on the screen. These are all key elements to what make up a vital community. And this is what we heard from our residents over the last year. So land use alternatives, this is what we're concentrating on today. We're going to be doing outreach on these alternatives over the next month or so and looking for feedback through a variety of venues. So this is our existing general plan map, and it shows a variety of different colors. It looks rather chaotic, but the purple is industrial. The oranges, browns, and yellows are housing. The reds are generally commercial. So you have a variety of colors indicating a variety of land uses. This map identifies where things can be built. Where can you build housing? Where can you build office? and identifies at what density can you build. So we've been working with a general plan advisory committee. They've been providing feedback to us on where should we think about potential opportunities for growth in Livermore. And the polygons that you see on the screen with the various colors are the areas that were identified based on community feedback and based on the direction of our general plan advisory committee. Just to orient you, we've got 580 running through east-west, and you've got you've got 4 circles there as well. The top 2 circles that are running along the freeway there are Valley Link. And you may all have heard that BART is no longer coming to Livermore, but we have plans for a commuter rail that will connect at Dublin Pleasanton BART, will come through Livermore and go out to the valley, out to Tracy, and eventually out to Stockton. So Valley Link plans for 2 stations in Livermore. And I mentioned to you that we had planned for about 4,500 housing units through our current housing element. A lot of that planning was here in this Isabel neighborhood at that first station stop right there. So you've got another station stop shown here in green. And then the 2 station stops down below are the A station. So we have a variety of rail options, but those are interesting places to plan for, because if somebody can take the train to work or take the train to the city, they don't have to drive, right? So that's why thinking about jobs and housing around some of those stations makes some sense. So these are the polygons. These are the areas, the focus areas that we'll be talking about today, and I'll walk through each one of them briefly with you. This ordinarily would be about a 40-minute presentation. We're crunching it down into about 20. So it's going to be a bit of a treetop level, but we'll have... Yeah, Mark stole most of that time with some jokes. So we're diving into the first focus area. This is Laughlin Road. And on each of these, I'll show you an aerial and the existing general plan map, and then I'll show you the alternatives that we've presented to you today. So this area, interestingly, was going to be one of those BART stations when BART was going to come to Livermore. BART has decided not to come, and so this is an area to think about. You've got 3 alternatives here, and I'll introduce you to some of the colors. They'll be the same under each alternative. The green is open space. So as we looked at this land, there was a lot of habitat value on that large area in green. So all 3 alternatives suggest maintaining that as open space. The land down here closer to the existing housing has quite a bit less habitat value, and so that was proposed for different types of land uses. And the alternatives here, I'll walk you through the colors. Yellow is low density residential, and so that's seen as a transition to the existing residential that exists behind it. The dark brown is a high density residential. The green is park space. The fuchsia color there is industrial, and the red is highway commercial. So you see some variations on these themes: low density and high density residential. The middle alternative, middle alternative there has low density residential, some medium density residential, and then the pinkish salmon color is commercial. So a little bit of a different vision in the mixed use alternative. And then the industrial alternative has the orange, a medium density residential. You see a green sliver running through it, which is a trail open space area. The brown is high density residential and the green is industrial. So these are alternatives, and I'll show you some alternatives for each focus area. We're not necessarily expecting the community to pick one of these, but these are food for thought. We're looking to provide you some ideas that the General Plan Advisory Committee came up with. And we're going to be asking you, do you like one of these? Or maybe you like a variation on one of these? Or maybe you have a totally different idea. So we're looking for feedback from the community on these locations and what you think might be appropriate here. With each one of these, we've got some housing numbers and some jobs numbers. If I go back one, you'll see this one has high density residential on it. So when I flip forward, you won't be surprised that it has more housing units and more population. The tan color is housing, the gray is population, and the green is jobs. So we'll jump to the next focused area. Just to orient you here as well, I-580 runs across the top of the screen. Livermore Avenue is on the right-hand side. This is in and out. That should locate it for most of you. And so there's a large open space area that's that's unused. We've got the post office annex building right there. That is, yes. All right, so we've got 3 different alternatives here again. Alternative number 1 maintains this large area as open space. It redesignates this area to a slightly denser office and industrial designation, and it has that yellow low-density housing on the bottom. The middle alternative with its lighter green color there envisions agriculture. So this could be vineyard land, a vineyard gateway into Livermore, right? It has that same office industrial designation. It has a medium density residential. And again, that pink is commercial. The one on the far side there, the fuchsia color is general industrial. So that's a jobs heavy alternative. It has a variety of industrial and office uses. And then the hatched orange color there is a medium high density residential. So all of these include some housing, some jobs, and one has at least preservation of open space. And you might wonder, well, why are we planning for all this housing and jobs? Again, we've got to think about the next housing element cycle and the one after that. So our General Plan Advisory Committee was trying to think about where could we put housing that doesn't impact our existing neighborhoods. So this is one of those locations that they thought about.
Would that open space have athletic fields?
I think this open space is envisioned not to have any athletic fields, just passive open space. There's a trail that runs along the south side here, but I think it's intended to be passive open space in this case. But it's a great point. If you think, well, we need more active parks and play fields for kids, that could be a comment about this or other alternatives. I'll take one more question, but I'm going to do most of them at the end. Go ahead.
There's a very historic element in the middle of that space. That is where Robert Livermore's house was.
Mm-hmm.
That should be preserved for historic purposes.
Okay, Robert Livermore's house is in the middle of that
Mhm.
Las Positas court, or was there.
Right.
And that should be preserved historically and commemorated.
So great comment. And those are the sorts of comments that we're looking for through this process. All right. Again, the jobs and housing numbers, again, if you go back to the example on the far side of the screen there, has a lot more intensity, both on the job side and the residential side. Whoops. And so you see that shown here. Vasco Row is the next area. To orient you, East Avenue is on the top of the screen. Vasco is running here north-south. This is an area that has seen some expansion in winery and brewery tasting rooms. This is generally, you'll see on the far side of the screen there, it's that fuchsia color. It's an industrial designation. And so all of these wineries and breweries are supposed to have production, some kind of bottling, fermentation, some kind of production facility incorporated with their winery tastings. One of the things that we've heard is that some of these businesses would like to do more and that they're limited by the industrial zoning. So these 3 alternatives envision something a little different in this area. Again, because of the push for housing, the one on the right here, the Maker Village, shows some medium high density housing. The one on the far side shows some medium density housing as well. And then this color here, this hatched color, is a combined industrial and commercial designation. It gives a little more freedom for these businesses to do tastings, to do events and activities, to do some of what they've already started to do. And then this hatched color is a wine country commercial designation. It's intended to sort of take advantage of that gateway to wine country that this is and allow a broader mix of commercial uses that support wine country. And then in each alternative here, you've got a green open space. And again, we're showing the housing and job numbers. This is an interesting one. This is the Midtown focus area. To orient you, this is I-580 running at this location here, and we've got Vasco running down here. This is the location for one of our stations, for our Valley Link station. Valley Link station would be located right about here. And so it's an opportunity to do some planning for that housing and some jobs that would benefit from being around the station. This looks like a jumbled mix of colors, but I'll briefly explain them to you. And there'll be opportunities where we can point you to a website and you can study these at your leisure. But this is a business center alternative. You see, it has a lot more of that fuchsia color. It's jobs focused. The middle one is labeled residential. It has a lot of those dark browns and orange colors. It's residentially focused. And then the blended alternative you'll see with a combination of industrial and residential. Again, the question here is around a future station area for a Valley Link train. What's the most appropriate mix of land uses if we were to see this area change? And again, if we have to plan for housing for 10 to 15,000 housing units over the next 20 years, where should those go? How can we put them in an appropriate location? And our advisory committee at least has suggested that being near a station area is a good place to put some of that housing. And again, you can see the population and jobs numbers with each alternative. The last alternative is a little different than the others. This is an area east of Greenville Road. So again, to orient you, we've got I-580 on the north side of the screen there. This is Greenville running north-south through the middle of that aerial there. This is different because this land is outside the city of Livermore. It's in Alameda County. We have an urban growth boundary that runs generally along Greenville Road, and we have the city limits that run in the same location. So if this area were going to be developed in the future, we would need an amendment to that urban growth boundary, and that would be a vote of the people. So the first step is to suggest this and see what people think. And I can share a little bit of why the General Plan Advisory Committee asked for this to be an alternative. One is that as we're planning for 10 to 15,000 new housing units, we're displacing quite a few jobs in other locations in Livermore. The second one is that as we're adding housing units, we're adding demand for jobs. And the city has always tried to have a balance between jobs and housing so that there's a better likelihood that people who live in Livermore could work in Livermore, right? Not everybody's going to be able to. Some people are going to have to drive to Silicon Valley, but if we can provide some high-paying, high-quality jobs here in Livermore that support the type of housing that we're building and the cost of housing, that's a benefit. So that was one of the things they looked at. The other thing they talked quite a bit about was synergy with the labs. This is Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory and Sandia. There's a great pride in Livermore with the labs and the intellectual capital we have there, the amazing discoveries and inventions that have come out of the labs. And so the thought was, let's try to utilize some of that synergy with businesses and with perhaps a research campus that could benefit from collaboration with the laboratories. And then the last piece that the advisory committee talked about for this as a potential area is that right now this is under the county general plan designation, under their zoning. It's large parcel ag. That's the designation across most of that area. And so the value is relatively low compared to an industrial land value. And so you have an opportunity perhaps to capture some of that value to be community benefit. And so they've talked about potentially capturing some of that value as community benefit to South Livermore, perhaps in the same way that we did when the South Livermore plan was developed. Some of that value could be used for open space easements, or some of it could be for community amenities in other places for other needs. So these are the three alternatives. They're all jobs focused. There's no housing shown here east of Greenville. Again, that fuchsia color is a general industrial designation, office, research, development, those kinds of things. You see that in all three of the alternatives. There's a wine country catalyst site shown at the bottom of each. We talked to the Tri-Valley Conservancy. They indicated that there was good value here, good land here for grapes, and this provides an opportunity for vineyards, perhaps for a medium-sized winery, perhaps for a facility like a custom crush facility that might benefit our wineries. The hatched color here is the one that the General Plan Advisory Committee was interested in, which is, you'll see it on the screen, a research campus / educational facility. And that was an idea, again, about collaborating with the laboratories and developing some synergy. As you look across the alternatives, it's different sizes. It's smallest here, medium in the middle, largest on the outside. The red is commercial at different sizes. There is some open space in a couple of these alternatives. One here, a passive open space area that could include some hiking trails, an additional open space area up on the far side. And then The committee also thought about this as a gateway to Livermore, to wine country. And as a gateway to wine country, perhaps it could be planted with vineyards as you drive down Greenville Road. So that was a concept there. So we'll keep going. Again, it's jobs focused. And then next steps. So we're going through and we've evaluated each of these areas. We've looked at some of the environmental impacts, some of the pros and cons with each of these proposed focus areas. We have our executive summary now on the website, and Andy promises me that by the end of the week, we're going to have a full summary, a full land use evaluations report available on the website as well. I'm working Andy very hard. All right. So we're in the midst of doing public outreach and engagement. We're looking for feedback. We've got a couple of workshops coming up, and we're looking to get input from folks like you. So you can go onto our website. This would be a great place to take a look at these books and learn a little bit more about what we're doing. We've got workshops coming up. October 25th, we would invite you out to Robert Livermore Community Center from 6 to 8 p.m. Also in November, we have another at Leo Croce Elementary School. And so we're looking for your feedback, but you can go online, you can provide your feedback online, and you can tell us what you think. And with that, we are at questions.
Good overview. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I noticed that in the east of Greenville plan, there was also a segment just above 580, north of 580. What's that all about?
So you're seeing here the other alternative. Sorry, we probably should have just shown the focus areas individually, but this is the Laughlin focus area that we talked about previously. No, we're actually looking here at converting more of that to open space. But yep, yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the area called public again?
The area
So
called
the gray there.
public is Patterson Pass Treatment Plant. Yeah. All right. I'm going to let the folks with the mic decide who goes next.
Great presentation, Paul.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My question is going back to the Vasco Row alternative. What can you describe more what the maker village would be? Is that a live workspace, or what exactly would be a maker village?
So we gave creative names to each of these alternatives. I'm not going to suggest that they're exact, but this has a combination of housing. And then this land use, again, is a combination of commercial and industrial. It gives some of the uses out there that are doing wine tasting or beer tasting, or that want to have events or other activities, it gives them more flexibility in their zoning. It allows you to make things and bottle them and drink them. Yes, all in this. It's the complete operation, right? From fermentation, production to drinking.
Was that it? Okay. All right. Well, let's give a big thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
John, thank you.
And we also want to thank you, Adam. I know you were on the side, or Andy, did I say Adam? I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me, on the sidelines to help us with questions. We have a little thank you for you from a fellow Rotarian in our morning club. That is Charles Crowhair from the Olivina. So thank you so much. Thank you. You bet. All right. Okay. All right. That was amazing. Okay. 2 quick things, and then we're going to do the drawing. Bob Cowan, Crabsters, Thursday, 5:30, his house, be there. Okay. Number 2. Okay.
Because I'm president next year, and if you screw up the cracker, no money.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And then we had Matt Fuzzi, who's in charge of youth services. He needs a new co-chair. So if there's anyone out there interested, please reach out to me. The people that do the youth services or take care of all the committees, they're pretty darn self-sufficient, but he needs a co-chair. And last but not least, real quick, I have 2 tickets to Paradise donated not paradise exactly, but but two tickets to the Bankhead Theater to see hold on, let me get his name here. John Tesh on Sunday, October 22nd at 3 p.m. And Kelly Bowers has donated those to our club. And I'm looking for some dollars. Is anybody interested in these? She paid, and I want more than this, obviously, $76.50 per ticket. So is there anybody interested in these tickets? You know, if so, please see me after. And then last, we have our ticket